Welcome back to our channel, The Purpose-Driven Homestead. This week we're starting part 2 of how to grow blackberries and raspberries at home. Last time we talked a little bit about how you can tell apart first year versus second year canes. We also talked a little bit about how the second year canes are the ones that produce the berries. We thought we'd show you the whole process across these multiple parts. These berries are getting close to the point that we really need to protect them at this stage. So you can see as we kind of scan down here, there's some of them are actually even starting to turn. This one right here in particular, you can see it turns from kind of a greenish then to a yellow, then finally it'll start more of a pink and red. Here are some of our blackberries. They're actually well into turning as well. They're kind of early to the game. Most of our blackberries at this point are actually green, as you can see here, but they're huge and we're getting really good results this year, so we're pretty stoked. Those will come off after the raspberries. Now there's a link in the description for these new anchors that we're using. Typically we tie them up with these really long looking bread ties, but this year we're using those other connectors. We're actually using them for our tomatoes and beans as well. They work phenomenally, so check out the link in the description for that. It's much better than what we've historically used. Now we're setting it up today. We're going to show you how to protect for birds and other kind of small little pests like that. Primarily birds are the ones that seem to come and grab all of our berries. So you're going to use some rebar and some PVC pipe, and you can kind of see here at a glance how it's going to look. We'll walk you through here in just a second, and then we're going to basically make a tunnel where you can then take this bird netting and pull it all the way across and protect it. It starts here with this rebar piece. You can buy these at any home improvement store. They're about 3 feet long. We've got it about 1.5 feet in the ground with another 1.5 feet or so sticking out. Now space these out, and it'll depend a little bit on how you're going to set your garden up. Now these are 10-foot sticks of PVC. This is 1/2 inch. We intentionally didn't use the pressure treated or pressure rated, I should say, PVC. You want this stuff to actually be the thinner walled stuff because it's more flexible. It'll actually bend a bit more. Now if you have a bigger area, it's important to know that you can put a coupling on this and do a 20-foot stick, so you can get a much bigger tunnel. You can spread it out a little bit more. It'll make it a little easier if you've got a bigger area, but this worked perfectly for us. You can see here, this is a piece that we haven't done yet. We've got one end sticking on the rebar, and I'll show you kind of how we did that in just a second here. Now, so we slid this one end of the PVC down onto the rebar. Super simple. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. If you're liking this video so far, please subscribe. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and help us out by allowing us to make more of these videos. Now you can see the other end goes in just like the first end. It makes this tunnel. Believe it or not, it's pretty sturdy. Now if you've got a bigger one, if you're going to do a 20-foot stick instead of these 10-foot sticks, we have a coupling in there. Whatever you do, just make sure that it's not too big, but you want it to fit over this rebar piece, right? So in our case, we used a 1/4 inch. It worked fantastic. You may even want to use a anchor piece, kind of a ridge pole that goes across if you've got a really wide space that you're worried about it not having enough strength. We didn't have to do that though, but you may want to. Now here you can see how we've got it set up with our bird netting. We pulled it all the way down. We actually did ours in 2 pieces the way that it's cut. There's a link in the description for the bird netting we used as well, but you can see that it's got a really small opening there. That's the one key thing that you want to look for, because they've got some wildlife netting as well, and it's got bigger openings and birds can get through it, so you don't want to use that. Some of it will be like deer netting and stuff. Most of that's okay because it's going to be the small stuff, but just make sure when you're looking at it, it doesn't have the big openings and it has these small openings instead. Here you can see the entire tunnel that we kind of set up here. We've got some extra cages set up around our blueberries just because they were already there. We didn't want to take them down, but you can see how we pulled that bird netting all the way down. We've anchored it at the ends. We'll come back and we'll anchor it again. But we've pulled it over. You may want to put some rocks down here, or possibly maybe use some wood or other things. We wanted ours to be able to get kind of in and out because we were going to be harvesting soon, so we actually didn't use anything to anchor it down. But you'll want to make sure that if you're using multiple pieces, you have a way, like those bread ties that I was showing you, or little zip ties, whatever you have around your house to kind of connect the two pieces together so that it's not blowing off. So that's kind of how we did it. We used our blackberries. They've got some pretty big canes. Some of those are sticking out, but it actually worked out pretty well the way the hoop worked. We may wind up doing something different if this bush gets too big next year, but for this year it worked out very well to do it this way. Now we're going to show you some grapes here as towards the end here that we're working on. We're going to do the exact same thing. So the cool part about having multiple products and multiple plants that you're harvesting at different times is you can move this stuff around. So we're not going to just go and buy a whole new set. We're going to take, and these grapes are going to be maturing at a much later date in the summer. So we are going to just take that PVC and those pieces of rebar. We're going to pull them up and redo that all over again just on this side of the fence. So you can see here, this is one of our seedless grapes. But guys, have fun with this. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. It helps us make more of these videos in the future. And check out these videos as well.